Let's go to Pennsylvania now. The Senate race there starting to shift. For the first time, Dr. Oz now has the lead in two separate polls over John Fetterman as concerns over Fetterman's health continue to grow because he is pro-crime, pro-criminal, and Pennsylvania voters are finally starting to pay attention. Joining us now for more, Congressman and member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, Pennsylvania Congressman Dan Meuser. Congressman, good to see you. Good morning.
You too, Rob. Great to see you.
Okay, so Real Clear Politics gives Dr. Oz a 2-point lead. That poll out yesterday. And a local news station in Philadelphia also giving Dr. Oz a slight lead in their polling. This sets up the big debate next Tuesday between Oz and Fetterman. How important is this debate going to be for both candidates now?
Well, I think it's going to be, honestly, a wipeout for Fetterman if he shows. We shall see. It's being done in a studio with no audience at all. I'm sure he'll have some added assistance. Just the fact that he's doing it, I guess he gets a kudo for that. But we shall see if it actually takes place. You know, his policies are extreme left, which is not in the interest of Pennsylvania. He has stated for years how he is against fracking, against natural gas, against fossil fuels. Now all of a sudden he says, "Oh no, I'm for the fracking." The crime issue you brought up, unbelievable. This guy's been on the parole board in charge of it, voting to have armed felons released, murderers released. So he's terrified that people get to know who he is. And yet, on the same note, Dr. Oz is doing everything he possibly can so people know who Dr. Oz is.
Yeah, it blows my mind. He wants to release a third of all convicted murderers. He wants safe heroin injection sites all over the state. Like, I can't believe this can be part of your campaign platform and you can actually win in a state as big as Pennsylvania. Let's get back to his health. That's a big issue. We wish him the best, of course, in his recovery. He had a stroke in May, all right? He clearly has not recovered. His doctor released a letter and said he's fit to serve. But in the same letter, a couple sentences down, he says Fetterman still struggles to process and understand words, which he is not, quote, processing properly. Does that sound like somebody who's fit to be a United States Senator for the next 6 years?
Well, clearly not. And if hopefully people stop their woke feeling about it and say, hey, who can best represent Pennsylvania and our country in the U.S. Senate? So I think that will eventually seep into anyone who's actually thinking about voting for Fetterman. It makes no sense. The man is against the growth of the economy of Pennsylvania and our country. He will weaken us from a national security standpoint. And clearly, he doesn't have the faculties to do the job. Yeah. Not that he's ever done a job before.
Right.
You know, let's remember that. For 49 years, the man didn't work. So, look, just hopefully people see what is important, and very clearly Oz comes away with a victory. It's crucial.
Let's talk about the gas crisis in this state right now. Pennsylvania, huge energy producing state, or it certainly was 22 months ago before Joe Biden took over. Right now, Joe Biden wants to release 15 million barrels from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to try and bring down gas prices before the midterms. America uses approximately 21 barrels of oil per day. So this is a drop in the bucket. It's not going to do anything. What do you make of what the administration is trying to do here?
Well, they're clearly acting in a very irresponsible manner, a political manner, to hopefully slow the increase of gasoline prior to the midterms, and all the while compromising our national security. The reserves, the petroleum reserves, are not intended, ever were intended to be used to lower prices. They're for natural disasters or national emergencies. You know, liberalism on top of liberalism exponentially gets worse. He went on an all-out war on our American energy, and that continues. That's what American people need to understand in this election. This continues, this assault on domestic energy, regardless of what they say. Forget what they say. Watch what they do, because they're willing to say anything at this point. And I mean that meaning that this neo-Democrat party that's trying desperately to stay in power. So they've ravaged our economy through this energy policy. It is the leading contributor to inflation. Right. And it's just bad policy from start to end.
No, you make a good point. I looked it up this morning. The average for a gallon of gas in Pennsylvania, your home state, $3.94 a gallon. For diesel, it's just under $6 a gallon. So all those trucks that are bringing everything, including gas to gas station, food to markets and all that, are costing people a whole lot more right now under Joe Biden. And John Fetterman would continue with those policies. Congressman, great to have you back on this morning. Good to see you. Thank you.